everyone, welcome to episode 19 of the Arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel and this is a video podcast where I talk about pretty much all things knitting, mostly knitting things, and sometimes crochet things, sometimes sewing things, and maybe some future crafts things in the future. So it is Saturday, February 4th, and it is kind of a gloomy day today, and so there's not too much light. I am testing out like a light thing over here so that hopefully, even though it is not so sunny outside, that we still can like get some light and I can actually show you what the knitted things look like and it's not super dark. So yeah, so we're gonna try that out today and hopefully it turns out just fine. So that is that. I am so happy you are here today on whichever day you are watching this, and I also hope you are having a great day. And if you like to watch and listen to knitting video podcasts like I do while you're like knitting something, I hope you have a fun knit going on, or crochet, or whichever crafting kind of project you like to do. And I will get started for our regularly kind of like scheduled content for these with what I am wearing, which is also one finished object that I have for this week, which is pretty crazy. It is this sweater, and I think, well, I love this sweater, and I think a lot of you also love the look of this sweater. This is the Aurelia Pullover by Sari Nordlund, and I will stand up so that you can see the full sweater in all of its glory. So this is the hem down here, and you can see the sleeves and just all of the cable and bobble goodness here. Here's the sleeves, and the same cable pattern on the front is also on the back. And I am so happy that I finally finished this sweater. I think I started it maybe a month or two, maybe two. It feels like it was 2 months ago. And it was something I brought with me over the holidays when I flew back home to Hawaii to work on. And I got a lot of progress done. I think I finished both sleeves while I was in Hawaii. Then I brought it back, of course, and worked on the body a little bit, and then I stalled out. I cast on a lot of new projects, and yeah, I don't want to say lost my mojo, because it's not that I didn't like the pattern or anything. It was just there were other things that I just really wanted to cast on and work on for a bit. And then this week I finally was like, okay, out of all of my whips or my works in progress, this one is something that is the closest to being done, because I really just needed to finish the body. And I was already maybe like here on the body, like I've actually, I don't know, maybe more down here. I didn't have to do maybe half of the body. Anyway, I mean, it was, again, out of all my whips, the closest to being finished, and I really wanted to, since I cast on so many new things in the previous couple weeks, I really wanted to get something off my needles, and this was the perfect thing to finish, because I really want the sweater. Like, I love the pattern so much, I love the design, so I wanted to finish it so I could wear it, and also I was like, before it gets warm again, I want to finish it so that I can have lots of time to wear the sweater, because I know that I will love it. So yes, the Aurelia Pullover. For the yarn, I used Sewrella yarn in the in the Cashmere DK base in the colorway Butterscotch, which I think is the fall tono color. And for the sweater, I made size 1 and I used US 6 needles. And what was really nice about it was, I think I tend to knit a lot tighter when there are cables involved for some reason. And so, as I've mentioned in my previous video, if you watched it, that I've been kind of dealing with some wrist it hasn't been painful, but I've noticed that there has been a lot of tension and that my wrists are starting to kind of feel it when I knit, and so I've been trying to knit on things that are more relaxing and where I'm not really tense. And so what was so nice about this sweater is that even though there's cables, I could really knit loosely and have very little tension in while I'm knitting. And so anyway, so it was not stressful on my hands and my wrists to do this, which was very, very nice. And yeah, I think it makes it harder also to, I think, knit cables. When you knit really tight, it just makes things really hard to, do the crossing and to knit and stuff. So this was a super actually like relaxing knit, even though it was just all cables. And, you have to look at the chart. At least for me, I have to look at the chart when I knit this. So, but anyway, it was actually quite relaxing, and I'm really glad, again, that I worked on it. Oh, okay, sorry. I was talking about sizing before I kind of got sidetracked there. Final measurements for this, I measured what my actual, what this came out to be, and I got 32 inches in circumference, which means this gives me 1 inch of positive ease. So that is what 1 inch of positive ease looks like. And I remember when I was going to start this sweater, I was in between sizes, I think, or the amount of ease I think that was recommended for this design or this pattern was a lot less than some other sweaters, and so I think it said maybe 1 to 3 inches of positive ease was the recommended. It was something like that, and I wasn't sure if I would like something that was 1 to 2 inches, but if I went up to size 2, it would give me more positive ease. But then I was like, I don't know, because maybe there is a design reason or fit reason for it to be something that's a bit closer or smaller positive ease. So I went with size 1, which was, if I was kind of in between sizes, it was the smaller one. And I am actually really glad that I did. So even though this only gives me 1 inch of positive ease, and I usually like more positive ease, like if it's like 5 to 8, I think well, is 8 a lot? I know above 3 is kind of where I think my recent sweaters have been. I'll have to double check, but 1 is, I know for sure, 1 inch of positive ease for me is on the smaller size of the sweaters that I have recently made. So I wasn't sure how that would fit on me, but I actually really like it, and I think it works well for this sweater because I think there's something about all of the cables. I think it looks nice with a smaller positive ease. Like there's still room. Like it's not, I was worried that it was going to be like hugging, but there's enough, I think, room over here where it looks cozy but still a little fitted, if all of that words and description hopefully made sense, I hope. But yeah, so I actually am really happy with the sizing I chose for this, which is great and perfect because this was, even though it was a nice relaxing knit and not super stressful, it was very involved to make it because of all the cables and the bobbles, and it's pretty much non-stop. Like there's no stockinette because the parts where there are no cables or bobbles, I think this is moss stitch. So, and also the sleeves have all of the cables going down and moss stitch on the other side. So yeah, it's a really involved knit, but I think it's one of my, oh my gosh, am I gonna say it? Like one of my favorite things. I think one of the prettiest things that I've knitted. Yeah, I'm trying to think what was the last like really cabled sweater I made, and I think it might have been another Sari Nordlund design, but it was a couple years ago. Might have been my first year when I started knitting, and I do wear it, but you compared to how this one looks, you can definitely tell that I have gotten, I think, better at my knitting tension, like having a more even tension, and just overall like fit and look of the stitches look better now than they did before. And so I think I want to like re-knit what I had previously, but now we're getting really, I mean, it's on topic because we're talking about knitting, but yeah, I'm really proud of this knit, and I'm really glad that I finished knitting it. And so yeah, so that is what I am wearing, and is also my one finished object for this week, and I am really happy and proud of it. And I think it looks really cute, and I really like the color choice. So yeah, so that is that sweater, this sweater. And now onto my other works in progress. And these are all, there's no new cast-ons. I went from like 3 new cast-ons to no new cast-ons this week because I was really focused on working on the things that I already have. But there's no guarantees I won't cast on something new this coming week, so we'll find out in next week's video. But alright, for this week, I worked on both of my test knits and a couple other projects. So first, I will show you this one test knit. This is the Dawn to Dusk Shacket by Tiff, Tiff Knit on Instagram. And it's hard to show everything that I have right now because it does kind of curl in as far as like the front part of this shacket, but I think you'll get the idea. And first off, the yarn, I am using the Rerum Natura Gilliatt in the colorway Darjeeling, which is a brown color, and I'm test knitting size 1, and I'm using US 5 needles for this. And since the last time that I've worked on this, I finished the sleeve. I actually finished it this morning. I really got into sleeve mode in the last couple days. So yeah, I love this sleeve so much, and hopefully I can do it justice by showing you what I have here. So what's really cool about, so first off, there is this nice piping detail, which I think I had in last week's video at the beginning of the sleeve, which matches with the piping detail on the back of the shacket. So I think that looks really nice. And then they are very wide sleeves, but what's super cool is once you get closer to the wrist, you start working flat so that there is a placket area here, and then you work a box pleat, which this is, I think, the second knitted garment I have that the design has a box pleat on it. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to kind of show this box pleat. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so there is a nice box pleat here where it just has like overlapping knitted sections, and so it kind of cinches together. Since the sleeve is so wide, it makes it nice and close for your wrists. And then the cuff is ended with some double knitting with a buttonhole, where eventually I'll put a button here, and then it'll close right here where that opening of the placket is for the sleeve. And yeah, on the other side is that box pleat. And I love these kinds of details in the designs of knitted things, and so it's just, this has overall just been a really fun knit. Like, it's a lot of knitting because it is oversized, but once you get into the groove, you kind of just like keep going. So yes, so I finished one sleeve and it makes me so happy. I love the length, and now I am just working on the other sleeve, and of course I still have way more of the rest of the body to go and a lot more details with, you know, the collar and then the button part in the front. So still a ways to go for this, but with whatever I have right now, I really liking all those details. And yeah, so that's been good, and I have been really kind of, I think, not to kind of bring up my wrist problems again, but I think I was, because this yarn is a worsted weight yarn, I believe, I think I was kind of knitting really tightly on this when I first started, and so I've had to try and figure out how to knit on this, since there's a lot of knitting to do, like how to do it so that it doesn't hurt my hands and wrists to make it. And I think I've figured it out, like knit slower and to not just be overall as tense, which kind of, I don't think it changed my gauge too much. And I did kind of check in multiple areas if my gauge is still good, and it still seems fine. So I think just knitting slower helps a bit with my tension on this especially. I think because I normally knit on things that are of a smaller, like I think a lot of things I knit are either a fingering weight or DK weight, and yeah, so I don't know. I think it's just different, right? So anyway, but I think I've figured it out, and so it has been going really nicely on this and starting to work on the second sleeve. So yeah, so that is that for the test knits so far. I'll put this over here. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is my Holiday shawl by Emily Curtis, Emily on Instagram. Okay, so I started the third color, but only like a couple rows, so it's actually kind of really hard to see it, but maybe if I show it on this side. Yeah, I started on the purple colorway right at the top here, but again, only a couple rows, so hard to see. But finally got there, third color, and as far as, since I'm talking about colors, the yarn I'm using is Explorer Knits in the Denali sock base. I am planning on using 4 of the winter solstice variegated colorways to make this shawl. So finish the first color, which is Petrichor. The orange color is Apricity, and I'm starting the purple color, which is Evenfall. And so I will just show you what that purple color looks like. It is so pretty. Like, I am not, this by itself, I don't know if it's something I would, like, it's beautiful, but it's not, I'm a very pink person, I say as I'm wearing a brown sweater, but I'm a very pink person. Like, pink is by far my favorite color, and so when it comes to other colors, I can appreciate them, but not something I would think about to get, I guess. But because I bought the winter solstice box with all 4 of the variegated colors, like, I'm so happy. Like, I love the colors so much, and I'm really glad that I have them and can actually like appreciate it in person. So yeah, I just want to hold it here and stare at it, maybe hide my eyes so that it'll hopefully focus. It's just something else. There's something else about this color, and actually all of the colorways, like even this orange, oh my gosh, this one's so nice. But anyway, so let me just hold up the shawl again so you can see what I have. I really am enjoying how the increases are looking. There are 2 areas where there's increases, so one is here and one is on this other side. And I really like how that's turning out. And this is my first time making something with a 2-color brioche, and so that's been really fun. And is, you know, the section that I'm working on right now. So yeah, again, only a couple rows with that new color, but I'm definitely glad I'm finally there. And it's again, like I cannot wait for this to be done so that I can wrap myself in it and just squish it and be really warm. So yeah, got some rows in on this. I know that this is gonna start feeling, we're getting to the point where the rows are starting to feel really long and they're just gonna continue to get even more and more stitches per row, but so far so good. It's relaxing, but still, you know, you do have to think about what you're doing and making sure that you're doing the brioche knits and the brioche purls in the right, you know, spots with the right stitches, but it is, at least, there's nothing too much crazier than that. I know sometimes while I'm working on this, because again, like when I knit, I like to either be watching a movie or a show or something, I sometimes forget to do the increases, and I do have to kind of like go back and do the increases here, because in the beginning it was really easy to remember, because you just, like down here, you only have to do work of, you know, a little amount of stitches, and then I'm like, oh, I remember that the row I'm on is the increase row. But now that we're getting into the longer area, what happens is I remember the first, you know, if I'm working it, I'll remember the first increase, but then once I get all the way to the second increase, I forget that I'm on an increase row. So that has been just kind of a thing that I've been having to deal with this, but that's just a me thing, because I like to be slightly distracted when I knit, but I still love it, and I know I'm gonna love it even more once I work more of this purple color in, and then after that I have one more color, and it's just gonna be great. So yeah, so that is this. I kind of want to work on it now after I film this, so we'll see what I work on. There's so many things I want to work on. Okay, so put that down here, and then the next thing I want to show is my other test knit. Okay, this is the Soul Sister Scarf by Sari Nordlund, and I am using 2 yarns held together. The first one is, so I'm holding, okay, I could just show you the actual yarn. So first I have a fingering weight yarn, and I dyed this myself with avocado, so it's a very light kind of tan pink color, and it's just, yeah, it's a fingering weight yarn. I believe it might be some part like not 100% superwash, but maybe a superwash cashmere kind of blend, I think. And then I am holding it together with some Suri, and this is Woolberry Fiber Co. Berry Suri base in the colorway I'd Like a Life, which is a very dusty pink with some golden yellow in there and some darker pinks as well. And so these two together, they actually, honestly, like if I hold them like separately like this, it looks like, ugh, they're not really like that matching, but I think together on the scarf it works perfectly. So I'll hold this close so you can see it. And yeah, so I started this last week and I'm now here. So you start with increases to make this kind of diagonal shape, and then you just work flat for the scarf, and then once you reach a certain length you start decreasing so that the other end looks the same as this end. And this is the first time I am using this stitch. It is so cute because it looks like little hearts, and I'm really liking this knit. I think that this will probably be the next thing that I finish because I am so close. I think I'm over halfway now. And oh, I am doing the size 1, which is the smallest size. There are 2 sizes for this pattern. And so yeah, this has been a really fun thing to knit, and since the rows are really short, it doesn't feel that bad. The pattern stitch is really cute, and the best part about this is I am using some leftover yarn that I had from previous projects, and so it really is just like, you know, the perfect kind of project and test knit. something that I know, well, for this pattern, like I know that I will be making it again, and I want to make the bigger version as well, but the smaller version also seems really good. And I think Sari Nordlund is hoping for this pattern to come out on Valentine's Day, which I think would be really cute. So yeah, so that is this for the test knit. Hopefully I will be done with this by next podcast, and I think I should because the test knit is due pretty soon, I think. Well, before Valentine's Day, because that's when she wants to have the pattern out. But yeah, this should be a really quick thing to finish up, and it's really fun, and it's super cute. So yeah, that has been enjoyable to work on. And then I have two more things, and I just realized I don't have notes for the other one, but we're gonna work it out. But okay, so this next one is another shawl that I have been working on. This is the Lofi shawl by Bridget, BZB Knits on Instagram, and this is what I have so far. I think this was a new cast on last week, so I think this is pretty good progress for that. For the yarn, I am using Woolberry in the Berry Natural base in the colorway Hello Autumn, which is a really pretty, very like fall autumn pink, like a dark pink with some brown, golden brown, like falling leaves kind of brown color in there. And of course, I have it, since I'm working on it, I have it looks kind of messy just because I've just been carrying it around when I work on it, but yeah, this is what it looks like in the cake of the yarn. And I really like this Berry Natural base. Like I am telling you, I think it is like the softest thing. I mean, not as soft as Suri, but like I think it is actually softer than the superwash bases. And this is a fingering weight yarn, and so this, at first I was like, I think this shawl is going to take forever, and I know I'm still in the beginning section, so the rows are going by pretty fast, but it has been super relaxing to knit on. And again, like I don't have to hold the yarn really tight, like so I can just knit very loosely and not have to worry about it. And it's been good. There are two kinds of sections that you alternate between. So one of the sections is garter stitch, and the other section, oh, I keep forgetting to look up what it's called because I keep forgetting, but I think it's like a garter rib section. And yeah, it's just been really relaxing. I think right now, out of all of my knits, it's the one I don't have to think about as much when I'm knitting it, and my hands kind of just like take over and remembers. If it's garter stitch, it's like I'm just knitting and I just have to remember to slip the first stitch on one side and then make sure I increase on here, but it's like that's pretty easy to do. And I can't wait for this to be done too. Like it's gonna be really nice. And I am planning on doing the size 2, which is the larger size for this shawl, but I'm pretty much just going to try and use up as much of the 3 skeins of this yarn that I have for this. And I know it's going to, again, just like my Holiday shawl, like something I just want to have something that's really nice and big and squishy and something I can just wrap around and be warm in. So yeah, this might take me a while, but it has been just, again, just relaxing. I feel like that has been the theme this past week. Just relaxing knits and knitting on things that are fun to work on. I mean, knitting's all fun, and so I like to knit on all the things, but this week especially was just about relaxing knits. So yeah, so that is my Lo-Fi shawl. And then I have one more whip to show you. So this next one, I have it here. I actually have it in a project bag, and it's been, I think, a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks since I've shown this, but this is my Serein or Serein sweater by Caidree, and the yarn I am using for this is Woolberry in the Berry Merino base and Berry Suri, both in the colorway Bouquet from the Garden Walk collection, which is the prettiest soft pink color. And it looks kind of wrinkly at the bottom here, but I finally, this week what I did was I finished the body because this is something I want to finish because I also had this on my trip back home to Hawaii over the holidays, and again, because it's kind of like a turtleneck-ish, I want to wear it while I still can, like while it's still cold enough to wear it and be comfortable. So it's something I want to get finished soon, hopefully this month, and I think I can. So I finished the body, and it has a rolled hem here at the bottom. And then I started on one of the sleeves. So yeah, we're just chugging along on this one, and I think we'll get there. Goal is to try and finish this month, but if I don't, that's okay. But that is a goal of mine. So yeah, I think this is going to be a really comfortable knit to wear, and it's Suri, so I know it's going to be really soft. But I am very curious about this turtleneck situation because I don't have anything, I think, that has a neck like this, and so I'm wondering, even though the fabric, like the material, is really soft, like I've realized that my neck is pretty sensitive to different kinds of, I guess, fiber, and so I'm trying to figure out either I should not make things that kind of like touch my neck, or maybe the Suri combination will be fine. So we'll see. I'm just curious if it'll be okay. At least it's not tight. Like, this is supposed to be pretty slouchy and loose, and so I'm hoping that once I finish knitting this, it's something that I can just put on to be comfortable, and kind of just like something I can just pull over, maybe if I'm just wearing like a t-shirt or a tank top, put over just to be nice and warm. Yeah, and I really like the pink on this. I mean, again, I love pink, but this really like light soft pink I think is really pretty. Can't wait to have this sweater done as well. And I am making size extra small and using US 6 needles. I've realized that maybe I should, if I do ever buy more needles, like I have interchangeable needle sets, but if I do have to buy more needles, like individual ones, I would definitely buy like US size 4 and 6 needles, because for some reason I think I just gravitate towards projects that use US 4 and 6 needles, and so a couple times I've had to switch things out on my my projects because there's so many projects that are using the same size needles. So anyway, so that is all of my whips for this week, and I feel pretty good about it. It seems like a lot, and especially because I did finish a sweater this week on top of that. But again, I've been stretching a lot, taking breaks, and making sure that my hands and stuff are not sore after knitting, and been trying to knit with a looser tension. Not like super crazy, but just being very aware of like what my tension is when I knit. And I think it's been working, so that's been really good. And yeah, so now I want to talk about a couple acquisitions that I have this week. One is not really something I got this week, but it's something I started opening this week, and you'll see it. But first I want to show something I did get this week. Ta-da! Okay, so this is Woolberry Fiber Co. yarn, and this is the colorway Stash, and this was from January. So Woolberry this whole year is doing I think it's called the Rewind, Woolberry Rewind, kind of, could you say, collection? So every month Woolberry is going to reveal like a colorway that she's bringing back, and we'll be doing, you know, like a pre-order for the one colorway. And so Stash was January's colorway, and I did not get this color when it was out. I don't even remember what collection this was originally part of, but I know I didn't get it. So I decided to get it this year, and it's actually kind of matches what I'm wearing right now, but I think it's a bit more red, I would say, and you can see it definitely more on the Suri. So I got a sweater's quantity of this. So this is in the Berry Natural DK base, which is my first time. I love the Berry Natural base, but I've only gotten it in the fingering weight base, and so I'm finally getting the natural base in the DK weight. Is that right? Yeah. So yeah, DK weight, and then I got the same colorway in the Berry Suri base. And I am planning on holding these together and making the hemlock sweater by Winter's Weather Knits. And I can't wait to cast this on. This might be my new cast on this week. And well, actually, I was thinking about it because since there will be one colorway for every month this year, I was thinking, what if I knitted, you know, whatever I decide to get. I want to get each colorway every month. Probably not a sweater's quantity of it every month, although that's going to be really hard depending on which colorway she brings back, like to not get a sweater's quantity. But it would be really cool if I could keep up with like knitting what I get from the Rewinds collection. So for example, since this was January's color and it got shipped out and, you know, delivered in February, to have this done in February, and so when I order February's colorway and it comes in March, to finish it in March, so I will be kind of like 1 month behind on when the colorway is revealed, but it would be cool to keep up with that. Also because since I do want to try and have less yarn in my stash at the end of this year, it would help me to keep, like, because I know that I will be buying yarn every month from the Rewinds collection. Yeah, as long as I knit with it, then I will still be kind of at like an equal, you know, amount of yarn coming in versus using type of situation. So those are my initial thoughts. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, and speaking of the Rewinds collection, these do have a special label on it for it. I'll hide my face so hopefully it focuses here. And I believe that she is doing, I think she mentioned it, I forget where, it's probably in like a story or maybe a previous post, but that if you buy something every month from the Rewind collection, that at the end of the year you'll get an extra discount. I think maybe for the last colorway? I could be wrong, but some kind of discount at the end. So that's also very tempting, so we'll see. Bethany revealed February's colorway is Sandcastle, and if you have watched my previous videos, you'll know that I bought so much of the Sandcastle colorway when it came out in the Coastal collection, I believe. I love that colorway so much. I knew I loved it before I even like saw it in person, and so if I remember correctly, I bought a sweater quantity's worth of it in the Berry Natural base, and I did make a sweater of it, and I finished it. It's the orangey sweater, and love it. And then I also bought it in the bulky base, which was the first time that I bought a hand-dyed yarn in a bulky base, and I made a hat, I made a beanie. What is it called? I love that beanie so much. Oh my gosh, I have to look it up because I love it so much, and why can't I remember it? But anyway, I did buy it in the bulky base, and then I also have a sweater quantity's worth of it in Suri, which I am planning to make a sweater with, but I'm just not sure. That was not made yet. Oh, it's the Manhattan hat. Sorry, the bulky beanie I made was the Manhattan hat bulky. Love that beanie so much. But yeah, I have a Suri sweaters quantity still of Sandcastle, and then I think I have a couple, like 1 or 2 skeins of it in the just the berry, what is it called? Berry fingering, just the superwash fingering weight base. And yeah, so I want, since there's going to be a second chance of buying Sandcastle, I just need to figure out what I'm going to make, what I'm planning on making with it, so that, you know, I'm going in with a plan and have a project plan for it. So we'll see when that happens. I think I have a few more days to figure that out before it goes on sale. So yeah. So that is that. So I did get these in this past week, and I really want to cast on the hemlock sweater for it, because when I saw the hemlock sweater pattern, I knew I wanted to make it, but I just didn't have like the yarn in mind or in stash to make it. And then this came out and I thought it would be really good. So that's the plans for these. And then for the main event of my acquisition section, oh, I have it down here in a box. So hopefully it's not too crinkly sounding, but I do want to show you the entire box. I got the Valentine's Day Advent from Lavender Fiber Co. And I was lucky enough to snag one because I think she only made like 12 or 14 of these boxes. And I remember, like, I had the countdown saved on my Instagram, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it, I need it, I really want it. And I was in Hawaii at the time because it was the holidays when it went on sale, and I just, you know, I was busy and I completely forgot about it. And so it was already nighttime, and I was like, oh my gosh, please tell me that they're still in stock. And I think there was, like, it said 2 left by the time I looked, and so I was so happy I was able to get one. This is my first, should I hold it up while I talk about it so you're not just looking at me? This is my first, like, yarn advent that I've ever gotten. I've always kind of wanted to get a Christmas one, but every time I've thought about it, I think the first year I heard about, I didn't know that people did yarn advents, and so I was like, oh, okay, next year, next Christmas, I will get one. And the people that I saw that did the advents were not offering them anymore, so I was like, oh well. And then of course I see other people's advents and I'm like, oh, I didn't know about those yarn dyers, so maybe next year. And then they decide not to do it the next year. So anyway, this is my very first advent. It is a Valentine's Day one, and what's so exciting, as I think you could probably guess, is that it's just all pink, I'm pretty sure. Or it'll all be in a pink kind of, I'm pretty sure it's all pink, and pink is my favorite color, and so this is just the perfect advent, I think, for me. And yeah, I think I finally started to like mini skeins. Like, I think before they were so cute, but it was like, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with them. But I have recently been kind of like buying some mini skeins, and so I think there's a lot of things you can actually do with them. Like, you can make socks with them, you can use them for stripes on sweaters or a top or something. And I think there's, you know, initially I didn't think that you could do anything with them, or I didn't know what you could do with them, but now there's like ideas, and so I'm very, very open to mini skeins now. So I have posted these on, and Lavender Fiber Co. also posted, like, right now, so since it's February 4th today as I'm filming this, 4 colors have been revealed, and so I think it's safe to show them on here now. And yeah, so I can just show them to you side by side here. I also posted them as stories, and I'm planning on posting every day as a story on my Instagram. So if you want to see those and kind of keep up with the colors, you can see it there. And I have saved them to a stories highlight on my Instagram as well so that you can look back at the colors. So well, first, maybe I'll just show you closer up kind of what this box looks like. And it's so cute. I love, first of all, the packaging because the tissue paper, so cute, pink, red, and white, or just multiple colors of pink and red. Tissue paper just really makes it the theme, and then the boxes on these are so cute because there are 2 colors of boxes, which I just grabbed 2 from here. A more like red colored box and a pink one with hearts on it. So cute. And then on Valentine's Day, this box is special, and so it looks like this, and I cannot wait to see what this one looks like. But I will start off and showing you days 1 through 4. So put this here. Grab these boxes out. Okay, so day number 1 is this one. Is it better to show it long like this or kind of curled up into a ball? So this is day number 1. It is, oh gosh, how do I describe this color? This is definitely a variegated color, and it has a range of pinks in here, but also just like the lightest touches of like a blue purple, and also some kind of yellow or very light peach colors in there as well. Oops. So this is a beautiful color, and it's just, yeah, when I opened this on the first day, it was just, this is a great colorway to start, I think, the Advent. And then while my camera is focused here, hopefully it doesn't bother you too much that you can't see me talking while I hold the yarn here, but I just want to make sure the camera focuses on the color because that's kind of the main thing here. And then this is day 2, which is still like ever so slightly variegated, and this one is more of a light pink with just hints of like a more peachy or yellow kind of color in there. Yeah, and so this is day number 2. And then day number 3 is, it looks pretty tonal to me. So I'll hold it up here. This is a really pretty like peach pink color. Oops. Yeah, just a really nice peach pink color there. Definitely more on the pink side versus like an orange. And then day number 4 is a more baby light pink and looks more like a tonal. And so I'll try and hold up all 4 of these at the same time so you can kind of like compare. I want to hold them all up in the circle so that you can like see it, but maybe actually I should probably just hold it straight and flat. Okay. So these are days 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'll try and hold them at varying kind of like angles and depth away from the camera so that you can see maybe the differences here. I think day 1 is the more obvious like difference one because it's definitely variegated, and then 3, 4, and 5, I mean in person they look more different, but they're definitely similar. I mean they're all pink, but in person you can tell the difference. Maybe if I hold it. No, but they're too small. How do people do this? Is my light too bright? Anyway, so or if I hold it even, okay, I think right here you can see a difference more, I think. Yeah. This one's definitely more peachy, and this one is starting to get lighter as the days days have gone on so far. Let me add in day number 1. But yeah, I mean, if there was an advent that I would love, it would be this one because, again, pink. So yeah, so let me put these back in the boxes so that I don't forget the colors. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I love all of the colors so far, and I don't really know if I can say I have a favorite because they're just all so good in their own kind of like shade of pink. But yeah, I mean, every day has been so fun opening these. It's really been fun, and I open them like as soon as I get up in the morning. Like, it's the first thing I want to do, and yeah, it's just been really fun. And it's only been 4 days, and we have all the way until 14. So 10 more days to open up these mini skeins, and I'm really excited to see what they look like. And I already have some ideas on what I want to make with them, but once I see all the colors, I think is when I'll start to finally make some plans with them. I had this thought that maybe I could make, because they're supposed to be, I think, in a really nice kind of fade colors, I could totally make a scarf with it. And the one that comes to mind is actually this one. Like, if I want to make the bigger version of the Soul Sister scarf, like, I think that would work out to just be a really nice fade of a scarf. And then, because I mean, it has the hearts in it, and it's a Valentine's Day advent, like, I think that'd be really cute. The only thing is that it would be so nice to pair it with the Suri to make it really soft, but I wouldn't want to add a Suri to the colors. Like, I wouldn't know what color, because I don't want to take away from the actual, like, advent colors, you know? So I could also just hold them double, because there's, I'm pretty sure, enough yarn to make all of the scarf, even if I held the yarn double to make that kind of more DK weight yarn. So anyway, it's an idea. I think it'd be really cute. I mean, a perfect match, you know? But yeah, so days 1 through 4 is what we have right now, and it's been really fun. So I'll probably show in next week's episode just the rest of the week, or, you know, whatever I open for the week, and then I think there'll be a couple more after that to show in the next one after that too. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun showing that on my stories as well, because I don't normally post on my Instagram stories unless I have, like, I finished a test knit and it's release day, which, oh, today when I'm filming this was the release day for the Soho blouse pattern by Caidree, and it is the V-neck, long sleeve, garter stitch sweater or blouse that I was really happy to test knit, and I used 2 strands of Suri held together for mine, and I've been living in that because it's so comfortable and I really like it. And so definitely check out that pattern, because it is so good and you're gonna love it, I think, and I hope you love it, because I love it. And anyway, so yeah, it's been really fun to just kind of post on my Instagram stories every day. I know it's only been 4 days, but it's 4 days more than I usually do. So anyway, it's just been a fun overall experience so far, and I can't wait to see what other colors there are for this advent. So let me check my notes here. I think that was all that I have planned to talk about today. And yeah, I've been, again, this whole week was about relaxing and enjoying the knitting process, and I was able to finish this sweater. I'm hoping to finish the scarf I'm working on soon, and then I will probably cast on something new this week. We'll find out what it is in the next video, but I do like knowing that things are kind of coming off my needles as well. to make room for new things that I want to make. So, with that, I feel like I hope I wasn't talking too fast. I was just really excited about this Advent calendar that I got, and I hope I wasn't talking too fast. But, okay, so I will end the video here, and yeah, again, as always, I hope you are having a great day. I hope you enjoyed whatever you are knitting on, or if you're doing chores or something. Like, I hope I was able to keep you company, and do let me know in the comments down below if you are working on something and what that pattern is, what yarn you're using. Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear about it. And if you want to follow me on my Instagram handle is at arieknits. It's the same name as this podcast. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye!